Welcome and good evening to this year's Pitch Night.
We are your MCs for the night, Megan Sweat.
And Jace Bennett.
On behalf of the Westlake Business Incubator program, we would like to welcome you to the 7th annual Pitch Night. We are both students currently in the second year accelerator class. I am a part of the Pharmacist team, which is a medication management app that seeks to increase the safety and adherence of day-to-day medications.
And I'm a part of Kickoff. We strive to pair local businesses with underrepresented athletes to help facilitate an NIL deal. We couldn't have this event tonight without the help of our wonderful sponsors. They are Lightspeed System, American Campus Communities, and Hire Better.
We are so grateful to have so many members of this Westlake community that are willing to support entrepreneurship among the students.
This year, we had 198 students compete to make 32 different teams seeking to solve one problem. A couple weeks ago, all 32 teams had one final pitch in front of a panel of judges, and they selected 4 final pitches, who you'll see tonight, and the wildcard teams who you voted for out in the lobby.
This program provides students with an authentic entrepreneurial experience. Throughout the year, students get into teams and go through an ideation process to identify a need and create a business. And throughout the year, they get to test this business, make changes, and at the end of the year, as Jace touched on, they get to do a final classroom pitch to real judges who selected the 4 teams we will be seeing tonight. Now, we all have the pleasure of being able to watch these 4 teams pitch for the opportunity to win $25,000 combined total. We would now like to thank our Eanes ISD Board of Trustees.
We also wouldn't be able to host this event without our loving community, at the help with our volunteers as coaches and mentors and our advisory board. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our community champion of the night, Katina Kenyon.
This program would not be made possible without 2 amazing teachers. So I would like to ask Lindsay Stokes and Jeff Nixon to come join me on stage. Being in the classroom and teaching these amazing juniors day in and day out is not for the faint of heart. So we, as the Westlake Innovation Fund Board, would like to personally thank you both. Kim? Thank you, guys. I'd also like to ask the community members, if they're in the room, to please stand if you are a member of our advisory board. Each of these board members provides both time, talent, and also financial contributions. Equally, I would like to recognize those individuals who participated in classroom to judge both the MVP as well as the finalists for Pitch Night. If you're in the room, please stand up. This next group of volunteers gives tirelessly to become, for our students, subject matter experts that come into the classroom and teach curriculum throughout the year. So if these coaches in the room, please stand up. And this last group of volunteers are the mentors that dedicate their time throughout the calendar year to work directly with student teams, support them as they're navigating the curriculum, and they become not only mentors, advisors, and they also become champions of each of these teams. So if you are a mentor, please stand up. And lastly, this program, the Westlake Business Incubator program, is actually funded in large part by private contributions. So if your student has gone through the program and had an amazing experience, please consider contributing today. Scan the QR code, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kenyon. And now for the time we've all been waiting for, the pitches. But before we do that, we need judges. So please join us in welcoming out our panel for tonight's evening.
Tonight's judges are amazing business owners and management people who serve our community and city. We have Elijah May, Kim Voss, Shaku Selvakumar, Jan Ryan, and Mike Smirklow. As the evening goes on, you will hear a little bit about each of the judges. And first, Elijah May.
Elijah May is a seasoned marketer, serial entrepreneur, and prolific pitch coach. As a consultant, Elijah has designed groundbreaking campaigns for brands like Reddit, Alienware, Infinity, Beats by Dre, and T-Mobile. As an entrepreneur, he has helped to create and launch companies like Texas CEO Magazine, the Austin Entrepreneur Network, Future Maker Solutions, Funded House, Team CMO, and The Experience Firm. As a pitch coach, he has coached first-place winners at South by Southwest Pitch, Social Good Pitch, Pitch Black, and Mass Challenge. Elijah is also a regular guest lecturer at the University of Texas and Concordia University, where he teaches entrepreneurship and marketing. He sits on the board of directors for both Energizing Health and the Maker Museum. Thank you, Elijah May.
It is now the moment you've been waiting for with our first pitch. Notify is a camera for your dash of the car that uses media pipe face mesh technology to track the driver's face to see when they are distracted or falling asleep. The camera then beeps to alert the driver as they are needed to refocus their attention onto the road, ultimately minimizing car crashes and saving lives. Please give it up for Notify.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
Take a close look at this dash cam footage. You can see a truck driver nodding off. Then this.
Crashed it.
Hi, we're Notify. I'm Nina Kenyon.
I'm Chris Kenstra.
I'm Isabel Kubiak.
I'm Ruben Paul.
I'm Emily Royce.
And we're here to help you drive into a safer future with Notify. The video you just watched was of an exhausted truck driver falling asleep on the road. It was around 5:30 p.m., only 4 hours into his 11-hour shift, when we see him doze off for approximately 3.4 seconds before losing control of his massive 18-wheeler, crashing into multiple vehicles, and killing 4 people. He killed 4 people in a matter of seconds just because his eyes weren't on the road. These deaths are devastating, inexcusable, and preventable. Hundreds of people die each day due to distracted and drowsy driving accidents. Distracted driving is way more common than people think, causing upwards of 100,000 accidents just this year. This problem is much bigger than the world wants to let on. On average, a driver picks up their phone 3 times during one drive. That is 1, 2, 3 times too many.
What's even more alarming is that 41% of drivers have admitted to falling asleep at the wheel at least once in their life. The CDC reports that distracted driving is the leading cause of accident-prone deaths in America for ages 12 through 19. 53% of major trucking accidents are due to a distracted driver. These drivers are risking everyone's lives, Don't be that driver.
Because these deaths are devastating, inexcusable, and preventable with Notify. Notify is a dash camera that faces the driver and monitors for signs of distractedness or drowsiness on the road. Once that behavior is detected, Notify will alert the driver with an audible notification to focus their attention back on the road, ultimately minimizing crashes and saving lives. Here's a demo of exactly how our product works.
I coded this using Python, and it uses a media pipe face mesh to track my face and my eyes wherever I go. It works very well, and it's very accurate, and it even works in the dark. The basic way this works is it takes a distance in between my eye and plots exactly where my iris is, detecting whether I'm looking left or right, or even when my eyes are closed. And the way that works is it takes a distance in between my eyelids and sees when they come together, it'll beep after a few seconds, alerting the driver to focus their attention on the road again.
One reason our product is so special and unique is because we created the software ourselves from scratch. The Notify camera was coded in Python 3 and is equipped with a multitude of libraries, including OpenCV, threading, and MediaPipe. The code uses face mesh technology to track the driver's eyes and iris to see if it is centered on the road. Embedded in the code is an if-then statement to see if the driver is distracted, drowsy, or looking away. Then, after a few seconds, a play sound command will run, beeping loudly to capture the driver's attention.
Additionally, the camera comes with a built-in gyroscope that detects the speed at which the vehicle is moving. When the car is going less than 5 miles per hour because the driver is scanning their surroundings when parking or at a stoplight, the code will deactivate. The Notify camera also does not store any footage for privacy purposes, doing all of its processing in real time on the spot.
These are our COGS, or our cost of goods sold. This is what it will take to create one Notify camera. We will need an Arduino, which is a mini computer. It takes both the camera feed and the code to do all the real-time processing and track the driver's eyes. We will need a camera, obviously, to see the driver, and we'll need a speaker, one that is small but still loud enough for the driver to hear. Additionally, our code is included because we created it ourselves. And judges, yes, we know nothing is 100% free, but there will be extra costs to enhance the code.
Our three main customer segments are school districts, trucking companies, and parents of teens. We found on top of selling our physical product to the trucking companies, we can send our software over the air to be implemented into cameras already within the trucks. This means we can sell our software directly to the trucking companies as an alternate revenue stream. This is beneficial for the trucking companies as they're already worried about insurance liability, and our product helps reduce that. This increases our product sales and makes trucking our most accessible market as we begin to sell to trucking companies. Our next customer segment is school districts. As teens in the Eaton School District, we are very passionate about protecting the lives of our friends, classmates, and loved ones who ride the bus to school every day. And our last customer segment is parents of teens. We know every parent gets that gut-wrenching feeling when giving their teens freedom on the road. Anything can happen at any time to anyone, anywhere.
Even here at Westlake High School. On Friday, January 17th, our beloved friend and classmate, Reagan Street, was walking to his car when a distracted driver hit him. This driver was a parent left unharmed, while Reagan was rushed to the hospital with multiple injuries.
Thankfully, Reagan is okay. And you may be thinking, I would have never made this mistake, especially in a school zone. But parents, let's not take that risk again and protect the loved ones in your life with Notify.
The only cameras similar to Notify on the market do not target parents of teens or school districts at all. They do not offer eye tracking equipment and consist of unnecessary gadgets that make the camera complicated and difficult to use, while also creating an expensive price point for customers. Notify is the complete opposite, being simple yet life-saving at an affordable price. Another competitor to Notify are newer luxury vehicles that have minimal eye tracking alerts embedded within their cars. However, not everyone can afford to buy these brand new $80,000 cars, but they can by Notify. Our last competitor is new technologies within vehicles such as lane assist or auto steering. However, Notify is not to act as a replacement for any of these safety measures, but as an extra layer of protection for all drivers on the road.
This model shows our TAM, SAM, and SOM. Our total addressable market is a maximum amount of money we can bring in a perfect world, and we get our total addressable market from taking the total percent of drivers in the US, which is 69.3% of the population. I'll get back to our serviceable available market in a minute, but our serviceable obtainable market is a realistic estimation of our year one sales, where we expect to sell about $78,000 worth of cameras, or 390 cameras to be specific. We get our serviceable available market from adding up our 3 customer segments: trucking companies, parents of teen drivers, and school districts. We chose to focus on trucking companies as our main customer segment for the start of our company because we believe that it's the path of least resistance as it is a B2B model. However, in the future, we plan to shift our focus to parents of teen drivers because we know that that's where the most potential money lies.
This is our revenue projection for the next 3 years of our business. We intend to sell our product in bulk to truck or bus companies every 3 to 4 months while maintaining a steady flow of income from parents of teens. Our growth plan is to exponentially increase our sales as we deploy Notify into the market.
As this model shows, our SG&A expenses increase exponentially by year. As we grow, our credit card fees, legal fees, and accounting fees will scale accordingly with us.
As part of the Business Incubator program, we were tasked to create a minimum viable product, or an MVP. This is our MVP on the right, as you can see. It is our first iteration, and we plan to make constant improvements to the Notify camera. Our group could have stopped at just creating the code for our camera, but we decided to go above and beyond, making a physical version of it as well.
After having all 3 of our customer segments test out our product, we received great feedback. The truck driver loved our product and stated he tends to doze multiple times per shift, and Notify helped prevent that.
Our teen friend admitted to checking her phone every once in a while. But let's be honest, we all tend to do that occasionally. She said the Notify camera helped keep her off of it.
The bus driver specifically mentioned that kids in the back of the bus could be distracting. He said Notify helped keep his attention back on the road. Because of this feedback, we hope to deploy Notify to the market as soon as possible to help everyone drive into a safer future. In fact, we've had multiple meetings with the head of transportation at Eanes ISD who have agreed to use our product in their buses. We've also reached out to Austin Driving School to reach our parents of teen segment. And lastly, we've pitched to UT Macomb's Business School in front of a group of executive MBA members who have connected us with multiple trucking companies eager to use our product, such as EJ Nissy Transportation and Western Express. In fact, CEO of EJ Nissy Transportation, David Covington, said that Notify will be a paradigm shift for the trucking industry.
After interviewing multiple parents of teens, bus drivers, and truck drivers, Notify will retail for $199. Adding up the $30 Arduino, $25 camera, and $21 speaker, our product will cost $76 to make, leaving us with a profit margin of $123 per unit and a gross margin of 61.8%.
As Notify is a safety product, our main startup costs revolve around our legal fees and disclaimers. The remaining amount of our startup costs account for our marketing and assembly fees, and as we move forward, we plan to attain a software patent as soon as possible, knowing it is a long process. While we wait for the patent, our startup costs will contribute to the development of our product.
Judges, we have the software, we have the working prototype, and we have the customers. All we need is this $15,000 in order to launch Notify immediately and help everyone drive into a safer future. Because our goal is to protect all drivers on the road. By the end of pitch night, all of you will have been sitting in this dark room for over 2 hours. It is inevitable that your body will be tired, your eyes will grow heavy, and it will be dark outside when you are driving home. Notify's goal is to ensure all of you drive home safely. Because what is life worth? What is my life worth? What is your family's life worth? What is your life worth? Join us and drive into a safer future with Notify.
Great job. I just wanted to ask if you've considered partnering with insurance companies.
We've thought about taking that route, and we do want to do that with our trucking company customer segment, because they do have to worry about insurance deductibles a lot, and if they do have Notify in their trucks, It would be a great way for them to have an insurance deductible, knowing that all of their truck drivers do have this product for their safety.
Excellent presentation. I am super impressed.
Thank you.
From the very beginning, the story you told, the clean 3 segments that you seem to have really considered each of them. One of the questions I had though was, in thinking about going to market, how do you reach these new customers? Have you thought about what is your real go-to-market strategy? Are you going direct sales? Is this through a partner? What are your thoughts on that?
For our truck driving segment, we mentioned that we'd be doing a B2B model, which means we'd be going directly to the truck driving companies. Our idea is to meet with them or to go, there's these things called safety conventions for trucking companies, so we could pitch our product there to get ourselves known. And we can do the same kind of thing for school districts because there's safety conventions as well. And then for parents of teens, our idea was that we would partner with like driving schools such as Austin Driving School to get our product shown directly in the driving school. So when their kids are learning to drive and they're stressed out, they can buy Notify to help with that.
Awesome.
I agree with Jan. That was very impressive. And congratulations on the progress you've already made presenting at UT and the interest that you've already drummed up. Have you thought about whether or not this is scalable to other business segments outside of the 3 main ones that you focused on tonight?
This is a great point. We have thought about that, and one thing that we can do is, as we created the software ourselves, because we have access to that and we're in the process of getting a software patent soon, what we can do is we can actually sell our software directly to other segments, whether it's the military or Air Force or other access points like that, and we can sell our software directly, so it would be an alternate revenue stream.
And to add on to that, we also were thinking that it would be a great segment to reach out to things such as like Uber and Lyft for Accelerator next year as another customer segment.
Please give a round of applause for Notify.
Thank you, guys.
Wildcard teams, now is the moment. We counted up all the votes, and it's time to announce the winner.
Oh, we have an envelope coming on stage.
I messed up so much. Sorry, how do I do this?
Okay. The wildcard team pitching in the wildcard slot tonight is Safe Zone. Congratulations, Safe Zone, and please make your way back to the green room immediately to start preparing for your pitch. We will now be introducing our next judge of the night, Kim Voss.
Kim Voss serves as the Executive Vice President and Chief Accounting Officer at American Campus Communities, which is the largest developer and owner of student housing communities in the U.S., with over 200 properties at 70 universities across the country. A certified public accountant, Kim holds a bachelor's in business administration and master's in professional accounting degree from the University of Texas at Austin. Kim is an avid supporter of the Eanes Education Foundation, serving on the board of EEF. She also serves as the board of directors for Kirby Lane Cafe and is a member of the University of Texas Department of Accounting Advisory Council.
Thank you, Mrs. Voss. We will now be welcoming our second team of the night to the stage, Safety Smoke. Safety Smoke is a safety system implemented in school hallways that produces a smoke to blind a school shooter when they enter the building. Safety Smoke, make your way to the stage.
We are Safety Smoke. I'm Eli Oates. I'm Sloan Bach.
I'm Morgan Ortega. I'm Kieran Patel.
I'm Sam Medina. And I'm Zane.
I thought the gunman was going to come back to the room, so I grabbed the blood and I put it all over me. These are the words of the 4th grader, Mia Sorello. Mia Sorello went to school in Uvalde, Texas, where the lives of 19 of her classmates and 2 of her teachers were taken. This is a fear for millions of children, parents, and teachers all across America today, including the 6 of us standing up in front of you. The number of school shootings has increased 163% since 2020 and almost 2,000% since 2010. We know that the collective grief from parents and families all throughout the country does not seem to evoke change. And as numerous studies have shown, when heavy-duty security systems go into schools, it makes students feel like they're in a prison, causing mental health to deteriorate and violence to increase. So it's time to take this issue into our own hands. We believe with our product, we have the ability to solve this tragic reality.
Let me introduce you to safety smoke. In this video, we see a teacher who is alerted to a shooter present in the school. After an alarm goes off for 10 seconds, teachers lock their doors and the smoke comes down. Notice that the smoke is localized to a specific hallway. The smoke disorients the threat during the critical 6-minute time period and allows law enforcement to arrive and enter the building.
Initially, safety smoke is the last line of defense. Our fog makes it to where you can't see down a hallway. This means a shooter won't be able to aim at students or see into classes. During this critical time period, we give law enforcement much needed time to arrive. And within 10 seconds of their arrival, the smoke fades and they're able to confidently enter the building. Eventually, safety smoke will act as a deterrent. A shooter wants to see what he's done. He wants to be on the news. If our school system is known to prevent that, we will deter a shooter from deciding that a school is their next target. This is a demonstration of our product. What we are seeing is a system similar to ours being used in response to a robbery in Europe. Notice that the natural instinct of the robber is to flee immediately. On the left, we have our working product. Our product has a flow rate that is capable of filling a Westlake hallway 60 feet long in 7 seconds. Our fog is FDA approved, water-based, and dissipates quickly.
Through engineering our product, we learned that we have the capability of developing a cost-efficient, simple, yet effective design, reaffirming that we will be able to put our product into the market in the near future. On the right, we have a 3D design of how our product will be implemented. Since school ceilings have uniform panels, we will be able to easily install our product at intervals throughout school hallways. We also created a UI design for an app that connects all school authorized users. When they open the app, they'll be presented with a map of their school, when they can easily look at any of the maps and click on the button to activate the smoke. To further our MVP research, we reached out to lawyers, engineers, school safety boards, and police, all located in Austin. After presenting Safety Smoke, we received positive feedback and demonstrated interest in our concept. Specifically, after talking to a patent attorney, we learned that we will need to obtain a utility and design patent in order to protect our product.
Traditional forms of security are out of competitors. We're competing with them for school financing. This includes both physical and AI systems. Unlike these systems, Safety Smoke provides the final layer of security needed to keep schools safe. When doing research for our product, we came across a company named NetTalon. NetTalon, someone tell us, uses fog machines to blind a shooter. We asked ourselves, why is NetTalon pivoted?
After talking to the executive director of school safety, we found that the reason this company decided to pivot was because they have a system where smoke would obstruct law enforcement trying to intervene. This company stands as our primary competitor. But with Safety Smoke's quick dissipating fog for law enforcement access, we are changing the school safety market.
We will be indirectly marketing our company through social media and news coverage where we hope to gain parental support. Our direct marketing will involve sending members of our team to pitch your idea to school boards and bond committees, and then have our first beta school represent our product. We plan on selling our product by student. With 85% of US schools being public, our total addressable market is 90,000 schools with 64 million students. Our estimated revenue is $6 billion. Assuming that 15% of public schools are interested in implementing our product, our serviceable addressable market is 13,000 schools with 9.7 million students, giving us an estimated revenue of $970 million.
To put our product into schools, it costs us $5.20 per student. This accounts for the manufacturing, installation, and distribution of our product. We then have a yearly cost for inspection and upkeep, which is only $1.16 a student. Our company is selling our product on a subscription-based transaction recurring annually. For our price structure, we plan on charging schools on a price per student basis. Over the course of the contract, a school would pay $100 a student. Additional sources of revenue would include repairs, checkups, and drills.
We forecast over the next 3 years to have an estimated revenue of $940,000. We plan on achieving this by first implementing our product into a beta school with approximately 3,000 students. Then, in year 2, we hope to reach out to the rest of the schools within that district, reaching another 6,000 students. And finally, in year 3, once we have validity to our product, we will work with a school district the size of AISD. Over the 3-year period, we have a profit margin of 83%, a gross profit of $682,000, and a net profit of $224,000.
$15,000 will get us to year 2. During this time period, we will be finalizing our product and continuing to test. By 2024, we know that we will have the confidence to start applying for federal grants.
We plan on financing our startup through non-dilutive federal grants. Since what we are tackling is such a major issue in the US, there are many federal grants available for research and development, with a grant ceiling of $11.5 million. If we are unable to receive funding through federal grants, we believe we may be able to momentarily pivot away from school safety. Some departments that would be interested in our product are the Departments of Defense, Justice, and Homeland Security. Additional funding avenues may include corporations such as Patagonia, Levi's Clothing, and Allstate Insurance, who donate or invest into companies that fight gun violence.
Once we get further funding, our first step will be to integrate into a beta school. This school will represent our product, where our next step will be to further integrate into the rest of the district. We then plan on selling to neighboring schools, and then finally throughout the state. We hope that by this stage, we will have a large footing in the market share. Safety Smoke prioritizes being in a constant state of evolution. So, by 2029, we want to push for our product to be mandated within public schools, similarly to fire sprinkler systems, exit signs, or fire extinguishers.
By 2031, as we continue to grow, we plan to expand our industries to the commercial sector, overseas embassies, and state and federal government buildings. Safety Smoke also plans to look into some additive technologies. Some additive technologies that are on our horizon include AI detection, audio pinpointing, and thermal locating. For our exit strategy, by 2032, we plan to be bought out by a larger security corporation. ADT and Otis are possible acquirers for our company. As Safety Smoke continues to grow, our hope is that students nationwide will one day be safe.
School shootings are an issue that affects every single one of us. In fact, early this year, a close friend of mine, Mario Roscoe, can be seen running to his mother after a school shooting. Our goal, not just as a company, but as people, is to guarantee that something like this will never happen again. I recognize a lot of you here today are parents with kids of your own. We believe that with our product, we can keep your kids safe. I'm Sam Medina, we're Safety Smoke, and thank you so very much for listening.
Well, first of all, wonderful job, and I think every parent in here can attest to what you're trying to do. So
hats off for tackling this really challenging problem. My quick question for you is, how do you think about, as you get beta or beyond that, the training that you would have to do for teachers and students? Maybe just talk a little bit about how you would help the students and the teachers understand how to use the product.
Absolutely. One of our, the quickest reference we made was to fire drills, right? But already we have mandated 2 lockdown drills that we have to go through. And in this process, I'm sure as parents you have to have your kids come up and tell you about it, but we go into the class and we hide in a corner where the window is not, where you're not visible to the window. During this process, law enforcement has to be involved in one of those. We plan on utilizing law enforcement during this process to, have our fog come down and, train students, because it will be a learning curve at first. It will be something new, but hopefully, similarly to having to have the fire sprinkler system go off whenever you're in elementary school, we hope that we will be accustomed to this, terrible reality that we have to adjust for.
Yeah, like you said, a great job. I just want to clarify. So you're saying the fire sprinkler system will go off, which is my first question, or do we know for sure?
No, sir. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that confusing. Our product is individual from the fire sprinkler system. I was just relating to it as students have had to do fire drills in the past.
Right, but one would assume it would trigger the sprinkler system. The smoke won't. Do you know?
Two individual products.
I think it wouldn't, because it's a water-based smoke, and it's just water and sugar, so it wouldn't trigger the smoke alarms that are heat sensors.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So kudos for tackling such a sensitive, an emotional issue, I think that's close to everyone's hearts. I'm a little curious about your pricing model. So if I heard correctly, it's like a per student pricing model on a subscription basis. What was the thought process behind pricing that way versus like a per unit or per installation type of charge?
So we price per student because in Texas, the TEA regulates how many students a school can have and a max per teacher. So per teacher, there has to be a certain amount of students. So instead of square footage, we chose to do per student during the school.
To add on top of what Morgan said, through our research, we found that when people purchase products like for security or safety, they like to see like ongoing revenue. So we decided that incoming subscription would be best.
Thank you. Please give another round of applause.
Thank you.
I'd like to shift focus this evening for another judge announcement. We are proud and honored to have Shaku Selvakumar.
Shaku Selvakumar is a successful marketing leader with multi-country, multinational, and startup experience, having worked for Fortune 500 companies like IBM, Shell, and fast growth companies like Cognitive Scale and Webify Solutions. She is also the founder and CEO of Active a Teen, an initiative that provides essential career, tech, and life skills for teens and young adults. Her work has won various awards, including Forrester Groundswell, Hermes, and SIA. Shaku was recently recognized by IBM as a top talent and is an alumni of the company's leadership development program. Shaku holds a bachelor's in arts and literature and sociology, a postgraduate degree in mass communications, and a master's in business administration from the University of Bradford. Give it up for Shaku Selvakumar.
Can you believe it? We are at our midpoint of our show tonight. Next up, please welcome to the stage Connection, the software suite created to connect families and staff of residents and residential care communities to provide the best care possible. With Connection, families can feel informed and staff can be prepared because care is best when connected.
Oh, what a night. Late December back in '63. What a very
Good evening, judges. We are Connection. My name is Nate Hill.
I'm Leo Wolfrat.
I'm Hadley McDonald.
I'm I. Morgan.
I'm Fletcher Coble.
And I'm Finn Flaherty.
Judges, we have all watched as our elderly loved ones slowly lose the ability to care for themselves. Whether it be a dementia diagnosis, recent fall, or illness, our once lively and independent grandparents became in need of constant care. This resulted in the incredibly difficult yet all too common choice to place our grandparents into assisted living communities.
We have all seen firsthand the struggles and difficulties that residents and loved ones experience at these communities. We know them because we've all been there.
Despite sharing a similar dementia diagnosis, these individuals, our grandparents, have their own unique needs, behaviors, and interests.
Like my grandfather, who had sensitive hearing even in his old age, unlike other residents, and insisted on being spoken to softly by all caretakers.
Or my sweet grandfather, who lacks impulse control and requires constant redirection from staff to prevent dangerous behaviors.
Or my grandmother, who required assistance in day-to-day activities and reminders to prevent medical emergencies.
Unfortunately, these needs are complex, and sometimes they are missed by staff. My family saw this firsthand when a staff member forgot a vital element of my sweet grandfather's care. My grandfather, who could not walk on his own or talk on his own, was forced to find a nursing station in the middle of the night, all while bleeding and distressed. This resulted in an emergency surgery and 3 weeks in the hospital.
We are not alone in recognizing this problem. Staff feel it as well. Over 65% of medical mistakes were reported in 2022 alone. This proves personalized care is crucial for assisted living facilities, but their technology simply falls short.
Just look at this. We are failing our aging loved ones. My grandfather, Leo's, Maya's, your loved ones could be failed. They need a solution, and they need a solution now.
Introducing Connection, the revolutionary software suite that connects both staff and families to create a more personalized experience in assisted living. Connection is the only resident management solution that not only allows for, but promotes input from loved ones on their residents' care. Connection is proud to ensure that every resident is provided with the complete curated care that they deserve, because care is best when connected.
Judges, you may notice we've given each of you a hefty binder. What are these for, you ask?
This is an essential method of resident care in over 81% of communities.
A resident in room 207 has just suffered a fall. He is on the way to the emergency room. Judges, can you tell me what dosage of his Alzheimer's medication he took today?
Which of the 7 most common Alzheimer's medications is he on?
What even is this resident's name?
Can you find this in your binder?
911 is asking for any pre-existing conditions. Can you find them?
Chances are, you can't.
Judges, this situation is disorganized, stressful, and can sometimes lead to fatal mistakes.
We are the solution to this outdated and analog method of care. We are Connection.
Judges, let's log in. Connection operates off of 3 main pillars. The first of which is our personalized profiles. These profiles are created by loved ones for caretakers that help them build the relationships that they need with every resident they serve. Next is our care checklists. These care checklists are created by loved ones and doctors and ensure that every resident is provided with the care that they need in a timely manner, while also communicating that these needs have been met to their families. And finally, our care concerns page. Our care concerns page was built to streamline communication in these facilities, allowing every necessary party to be made aware if there's an emergency with a resident.
Our customer segment is corporately owned residential care facilities in the U.S., over 50 residents.
Our marketing plan for Connection will be using a direct sales approach. This involves reaching out and marketing directly to the corporates of the facilities. This will be an incredible opportunity as we only need to market to one group to scale Connection across the U.S. For example, Belmont's corporate is located in Houston, Texas, and if they were to purchase Connection, it could be in 36 of their homes. This marketing strategy will save us time and money while making us incredibly scalable.
Judges, you may ask yourself, why would a facility want to purchase Connection? Through our research, we found 3 main reasons. First, it is an incredible marketing opportunity. When speaking to residents' families, we found out that over 86% would use Connection as a determining factor in where to place their loved one. Next, it will streamline communications. A major pain point facilities that we spoke to is families calling all day long. With Connection, facility staff can do what matters, care for residents, and let our technology do the rest. Finally, with Connection, there is less room for error. When facility staff know a resident's needs, they are less likely to make a mistake.
Other than the typical analog charting you see in front of you, we have 2 competitors, LifeLoop and Matrix Care. Matrix Care is a digital electronic application that has a form of these checklists. However, families we spoke to said it has little to no personalization features. Furthermore, it lacks in these behavior and interest details about your loved one that these facilities long for. LifeLoop, on the other hand, is a software that sends a weekly update to your families, and unlike Connection, it is not made for your loved ones specifically. Additionally, it fails to include any medical information. Finally, only 20% of homes in the US contain a form of these electronic records.
Behind me are our loved ones, the inspiration for Connection, the why behind what we do. We are proud to be the only software on the market so deeply devoted to personalized, complete care. This is done so through our 3 pillars.
Our total available market is 30,000. This is how many residential care facilities are in the US alone. 23,000 of these are private, and 13,000 of these have over 50 residents.
While 13,000 may seem like a small market, over 81% of communities still use analog charting, making us incredibly scalable.
We are targeting a cost per bed of $190. This is a fixed rate based on the number of physical beds within a community and is not dependent upon resident turnover. This rate is also slightly lower than our competitors because we are new to the market. And additionally, communities will pay a one-time activation fee of $2,500 for transferring the data from their physical paper records onto our digital platform.
Our revenue breakdown. Connection is so incredibly proud to announce that year 1, we'll prototype with the Belmont Village. This means we'll take on 6 homes in our first year. Year 2 will reach 20 homes, continue with Belmont and Brookdale's current scaling models in Texas. Finally, in year 3, we'll reach 50 new homes, continue with scaling models, and sharing connected care with the entire country.
As we are a software company, we don't anticipate any cost of goods sold. For our first and second year selling general administration costs, we're looking at around $18,000 and $25,000 respectively, covering travel, legal, marketing, and technical. For our third year SG&A costs, we're looking at right around $47,000. The reason this figure is so much higher is because we will have a much broader geographic scope, be spanning multiple states, and we will be utilizing search engine optimization within our marketing strategy.
Year 1, we'll have a gross profit of around $170,000 and a net profit of around $115,000. Year 2, our gross profit will reach $630,000 with a net profit of around $500,000. And finally, year 3, we'll have a gross profit of around $1.7 million and a net profit of around $1.35 million.
The most critical and important aspect of our application and company ideology is protecting our communities and their residents' data. We will have end-to-end encryption, separation of data, and be contracting with third parties to audit our data security and HIPAA compliance, so that we're not just meeting the HIPAA guidelines, but we're stretching above them, making sure that our clients' data is the safest it can be.
For our minimum viable product, we created a high-functioning professional prototype in collaboration with local UX, UI designers from Z5 and Miracle Foundation. We then presented these prototypes to families, staff, and management around Austin. When presenting our prototype, we decided to focus our questions on not only our prototype itself, but our problem analysis. Why were these nurses quitting? Why does management want these DNR warnings? Finally, we created a form to receive their valuable feedback.
In speaking with these industry professionals from Z5 and the Miracle Foundation, we gained invaluable knowledge on how we are going to go about the development, deployment, maintenance, and progression of Connection. Next, we analyzed multiple tentative quotes of how much an application of our scope will cost, which is reflected in our anticipated startup costs. Connection will initially be developed utilizing a framework called React Native. This will allow us to deploy on iOS, Android, and the web with one code base, meaning any updates will get pushed to every platform. Additionally, the backend will utilize HIPAA-eligible Amazon Web Services and their Dynamo database therein. Finally, we anticipate Connection and its core functionalities will be ready to launch within a year.
Judges, let's take a step back and talk about what we need to start Connection. Our team needs $22,500 to start Connection. $2,000 of that is going to be marketing. That's going to be us traveling to these facilities, corporates like the Belmont and the Brookdale, continuing to build our relationships with them in order to get ourselves in as many of their facilities as possible. Next is our customer analysis, which is $500. Our customer analysis is going to be us putting Connection in front of both management and staff at these facilities so we can fit their needs as best we can. And finally, we need $20,000 to start Connection.
We created Connection not only to preserve the lasting impact of me and Leo's grandfathers who unfortunately passed in assisted living, but to ensure that each and every future resident receive the best care they deserve, because care is truly best when connected.
Thank you, judges.
Well done. And by the way, nice ties.
Thank you.
I have a question about the setup fee, the $2,500 setup fee, where you're moving things from the old way of doing things into this new system. Somewhere along the line, I'm not completely sure I understand how you're going to onboard the families, right? You're taking care of some of the things that are very tactically there in terms of the data that they're, obviously it's not much of what they're using today. Tell us a little bit more about how you see that training process, the onboarding, because this is a very cultural big lift, this particular idea that you have, and it's a big problem. This is a very real problem. But a lot of this has to do with changing the way people do things and bringing the family in. So maybe expound a little bit more on that.
Absolutely. So when we spoke to facilities, the major pain point is these binders. And the way we would move them over is by taking the data and putting it into our software on the back end. For families, if they're a resident of a community that uses Connection, they would then get a code to join the app. Additionally, for the first couple of years, we'll probably be doing this ourselves, but eventually we'd like to create a team to do this for us.
I'm going to actually piggyback off of that real quick. So what you were saying about the families actually inputting the data into those personal profiles. So when a family puts one of their loved ones in one of these facilities, they will be asked by the facility to create one of these personal profiles. And so this is actually part of the process of getting one of your loved ones into one of these facilities. And additionally, if you have a loved one currently in a facility, it will be either a requirement or a very encouraged thing to create one of these personal profiles for your loved one.
Yes, and actually activating that profile where they training them how to use it, encouraging them. And I agree with you totally. I think if you found a very strong first early adopter and made them incredibly happy with what you're doing, that's where you start. You'll figure all this out, just like what you were saying. You'll come in and actually, learn from them what the needs are. But one or two that are just really adopting this, and a lot of the family is using this, a lot of the things that you had originally wanted are actually becoming a reality. I think you'll also see some surprises along the way, which is always the case. But yes, and thank you for that. And $2,500 actually I think is an appropriate amount. I think you could charge more if you really delivered the value here.
Great job. I agree. I think over time you could charge a lot more for that. Maybe talk a little bit about, there was so much in the presentation, great. Talk a little bit about how you think the staff, because as you mentioned, this is a very challenging job to work at, a lot of turnover. Can you talk a little bit more about what you think the staff will most experience from the product?
So with the staff that we spoke to at the Belmont Village, who we've met with on numerous occasions, they told us that a lot of it is going back to the binder, going back to the rooms, administering whatever care they have to give, and then back to the binder. And this is extremely hard for them to do on a daily basis. So when we showed them our UX, UI mockups, they said that they loved them. They said that this would help us be way more efficient and even care for more residents every day. So we think that they would adopt it extremely quickly.
Yeah, the binder's clever, by the way. Well played.
Thank you.
Look, I know some people have gone down this road. It's a tough road. You mentioned HIPAA a few times. I think there's going to be HIPAA things that you're going to have to fight with here. Jan's right. We both, I think, know people who've kind of tried a version of this. Culture change is really hard. It's a big culture issue. I do think I know an investor who's going to be interested. I'm really trying to understand, you're talking about you want to sell it directly to the facilities, though, not to the families, which means they're going to have to figure out how to navigate HIPAA to get everybody's information into the system.
Yes. So our application will meet all the HIPAA guidelines. And basically, right now, everything is analog. It's all on paper and everything. And so you have those traditional requirements for storing data in that fashion. But when it is put onto our platform, we will already be fully configured for HIPAA. There will be no problems with actually putting the data onto our platform because that should be a streamlined process. And of course, you will have to register some things and make sure that everything is in line to get that data for that specific client into our system. But overall, it should be a very streamlined process.
I hope you're right.
The
cost of uncoordinated care and elder care is a multi-million-dollar problem. So can you tell me a little bit more about the competition out there?
Yeah, so currently the competition just contains bits and pieces of what Connection does. Like I said, Matrix Care, it's just a charting system that is just sent to these facilities, and it's basically just a very simple down version of the analog charts you're holding right now. And LifeLoop, all it is just a weekly checkup on families in these facilities, basically just confirming with their loved ones that their care is met.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connection. We're now going to turn our attention back to the judges. We are excited to introduce and welcome back our judge, Jan Ryan.
Serial entrepreneur and tech executive, Jan Ryan has focused on building expansion stage companies for 30 years. With a passion for tomorrow's change leaders, Jan served as Executive Director of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the University of Texas in the College of Fine Arts. She helped co-create the campus-wide Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute. Jan served as advisor and board member for some of Austin's most innovative young companies, is a capital factory partner, and mentor at Techstars International Accelerator. In 2018, Jan was listed as Texas Monthly's Power Issue of the Most Influential Texans, won the Breaking Barriers Award at the Texas Women's Summit, has been featured on the cover of Austin Women's Magazine, received the Women of Distinction Award in 2016 by Texas Girl Scouts, and is an active contributor to the media entrepreneurship and women in business.
Thank you, Ms. Ryan. And it is now time to bring out our wild card team for the night. It takes a lot of courage to come out here tonight not knowing whether or not you'll be on stage. So please join me in welcoming Safe Zone.
I'm Joey.
I'm Annika.
I'm Mirabelle.
I'm Jack.
I'm Jake, and we are Safe Zone.
Judges, the reality we live in is not perfect. Youth suicides with guns are at an all-time high, and guns are the #1 leading cause of death in children and teens. Now imagine accidentally leaving your gun out. Maybe you didn't close your safe all the way, or maybe your trigger lock was faulty. Right there. Whether your child is in a horrible mental state or just curious and happens to stumble upon it, that could be the end. 12 kids die every single day from guns, and what if you could have done something about it? Current ineffective security could be the reason your child gets access to that gun. I thought it was locked.
I thought they didn't know where it was.
I thought it was unloaded.
I thought. There are no excuses. Gun owners need a bipartisan, modern, and effective way to secure their firearms.
But judges, you already knew all of this. What you might not know is that the biggest issue is current gun security. As of right now, when a gun is stolen, which happens every 90 seconds in the US, there is nothing an owner can do to prevent it from being used in a prohibited zone or track it before it's used in a crime. Gun owners do not have the time to go to the basement, unlock their safe, when an intruder comes in. They need something fast, they need something reliable, and nothing exists like that today.
That is why we are so proud to introduce Safe Zone, the first software-defined gun security system for today's gun owners. Safe Zone enables you to do 3 things. The first, protect your family by only letting authorized users operate the gun, yet accessible in emergencies with fingerprint authentication. The second, control your own gun by knowing the location and status of it at all times with real-time tracking and alerts. And the third, secure your community by disabling the gun in prohibited zones like a school and enabling it in set safe zones with geofencing.
But why is now the time to modernize gun security?
Since COVID-19, the newest gun buyers are not your average gun buyers anymore. 70% are women and younger adults. These groups demand modernization in every industry, and SafeZone is just that at the right time. Let's take a deeper look into the overall functionality of SafeZone itself. Our scanner is responsible for activating the internal safety mechanism located next to the trigger, capturing up to 9 different pictures of each set fingerprint to quickly authorize the user in case of an emergency. We chose to use the trigger lock instead of the firing pin for quality control reasons, as it significantly reduces the likelihood of failures occurring in the future. With our advanced technology, SafeZone has a scan rate of over 99.9% accuracy, as well as only taking less than half a second long to activate. And as for the installation process, all of these safety components, such as the battery, 2G tracking chip, and charging port, will all be installed by a retail service and through our step-by-step demo video provided through the app and website for our customers to install themselves.
Our software capabilities are what separate us from the entire market, as reassured by numerous gun retailers and gun safety advocates. Our app is kind of like Life 360. In the dashboard, you can access current and past location, as well as status updates like battery, current zone or address, and the duration that has been there. Now, I know you know about the recent mass shootings that have been happening, but did you know that over 2/3 of them get their guns from being stolen from someone like you? Having the ability to remotely disable your gun from the app and track if it's been stolen before used in a crime is essential to stopping this from the source as a first layer of defense. 95, and SafeZone also alerts you if there's a malfunction or if it's been tampered with in any way. 95% of the people we surveyed value every single one of these features. Every feature is a value and necessity while being non-existent in current solutions. In the menu, you can manage all aspects of SafeZone devices, set safe zones, fingerprints, Wi-Fi networks to reduce battery, and privacy settings. It is so important to use that fingerprint, so we show you exactly how easy it is to set that up. First, you go to the Authorizations tab, and you put your finger into the gun, and that will show up onto the app. Once that is done scanning, it will show up below, just like your iPhone, and you can rename it anything you want. To get back to the home screen, you click the logo at the top so you can quickly access those essential features again.
SafeZone's hardware has a set price of $130, while all the software capabilities will be purchased through a subscription. From previous data, we found that 85% of the people that we surveyed said they would buy the subscriptions. So we're offering 2 different options for our customers: the base subscription as well as our premium subscription. The base subscription includes the SIM card plan needed to track the gun on the go using cellular, with 3 set fingerprints and 3 safe zones for $5 a month. Our premium includes the same SIM card plan, but mainly targets users that want the max amount of fingerprints and unlimited amount of safe zones for $8 a month.
We know that this is the right time and there is a need for a solution, but why is SafeZone the right solution? Existing gun safety such as safes and trigger locks are outdated and clunky. They feature no modern technological components. They only have a mechanical lock. While there are other competitors such as BioFire, which do offer technology in the form of facial recognition and fingerprint readers, BioFire only works on their gun. You can't install it on any other gun you may own, and it costs $1,500 versus SafeZone. SafeZone will work on any gun you may already own, and it's only $130. And we offer never-before-seen app features that have never been in the firearm industry before.
For our TAM, we started with a figure of 390 million. This accounts for all the guns that are currently in the US. This increases by 10% each year. 82% of these firearms are ARs and handguns, which are the primary type of gun that SafeZone would function on. This led to a TAM of 350 million guns. Then we learned that 70% of gun owners support common sense gun control, which means they would support the foundational idea of SafeZone itself, leading to a SAM of 250 million.
Lastly, about half of gun owners already have some kind of security on their firearm, and we assume about a 5% market share at retailers, creating a SOM of 6 million guns. But why do we target retailers? Well, 70% of guns that are sold in a retailer at a store, meaning that is our largest opportunity to sell SafeZone. But why would retailers want to sell SafeZone at their stores? First, some states are actually requiring retailers to sell smart guns similar to SafeZone, yet inferior, just like Jake explained. Second, we give them a brand new revenue stream with a great profit margin. And lastly, we give them a way to differentiate themselves from their own competition.
For our market strategy, for retailer inquiries, we plan to do account-based marketing and reach out via our in-person sales representatives. We already have a fully functioning website and the largest social media presence because we've already started this. For direct-to-consumers, we plan to use flyers, posters, news networks, gun events, and shows in order to target all aspects of our customer segments and raise awareness. As of right now, SafeZone is running targeted ads on Google, Nextdoor, and Instagram.
We have validated our finances on many different levels. From surveys, from retailers, and from product development, we have found out that $130 was suggested as a good price point with a good margin. As seen in our revenue, the big gains are from the number of retailers we plan to get into and hold SafeZone.
SafeZone is around $40 to manufacture and around $5 to ship, giving potential for very healthy gross margins. For year 1, our marketing percent is much higher in the interest of retailer inquiries in years 2 and 3. For year 2, our SG&A is about 30% of all revenue, which is much lower than year 1, yet still high enough to attract retail attention and advocate for gun security. In year 3, our marketing reaches the 10% industry standard, and our COGS are fully taking off. Overall, we donate 2% of all revenue as part of our SG&A costs towards victims of gun violence.
In year 1, we experienced a loss due to maximizing our marketing costs, which leads to a path to profitability in year 2 and an even greater margin in year 3.
Gun professionals urged that the scanner must be accessible in an emergency, but not accidentally unlocked from your resting finger. We took this feedback and created our own prototype. Take a look at the screen. We can build this, and we have.
We know that now is the time to modernize gun security, but what makes us so confident that people will actually want to buy SafeZone?
When we spoke to gun influencers, Texas Blinking and PewView, two of the biggest gun influencers out there, they both collaborated and are working to make us a review video because they want SafeZone in this world. Just look at what they had to say. We also visited local Austin retailers, which gave us feedback on how we can install, offer professional installation services, and are going to allow us to test SafeZone on their guns. They also gave us validation on our price point. We set up tables outside these stores to get real feedback from real customers because that is the most important opinion. Over 50% of the people that we spoke to signed up for our wait list and demanded that we start selling SafeZone now because they want SafeZone.
These 8 foundations that you see are how we support gun safety overall and care about the people. They emphasize that it is such an advantage to be politically neutral and only care about saving lives.
At the Texas A&M pitch competition, we had several principals explain how important SafeZone is to them. Others gave us feedback on where to get funding because they want to see SafeZone in their communities, stores, and neighborhoods just as much as we do. We have met with several patent attorneys and a lawyer to make sure SafeZone is legally ready. From them, we've started SafeZone LLC and got a quote on a product liability patent, which would prevent us from,
An arbitration clause would help us prevent the case from going to a jury in the very, very low event of SafeZone failing. We also we value all of our customers' information, and our privacy policy ensures that we do not sell or distribute any of their information, and they can see exactly what is being seen in the app.
By September 2023, we plan to have a finished prototype and the app ready to begin testing on any handgun or AR. We plan to fully launch SafeZone and begin selling direct to consumers and retailers by January 2024 as part of our Phase 1. And in 3 to 5 years, we plan to move into Phase 2, which means expanding and working with other companies. We plan to replace our 2G tracking chip with Apple's third-party Find My network. We also plan to work with companies such as Glock or Smith & Wesson to directly integrate SafeZone into their own line of firearms.
Overall, judges, we need $20,000 to be able to start selling in January 2024 as our Phase 1. 20% of these costs are go-to-market, 35% are product and app development, 41% are legal, and 4% are maintenance. Judges, take a step back. Any investment is a step forward. Take a look at a world with all of these products you've seen today. Which one has the largest impact?
Last week, a 2-year-old boy was climbing and innocently exploring his world. He grabbed a shelf and found a loaded and unsecured gun. The gun that was bought for the protection of that family took that 2-year-old's life. Now, I want you to put yourself in that gun owner's shoes. If you knew that you could have prevented that outcome, you would not hesitate to buy Safe Zone. Today, we are giving you the power to let gun owners make that choice. Join us and become part of the first software-defined gun security system, because safe guns save lives, and we are Safe Zone. Thank you.
So great job. This was so impressive, knowing that when you came in tonight, you didn't even know if you would be on the stage. So your verbal presentation, what we have up on the screen, really nice job.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the installation. So as a consumer, am I needing to take this to a retailer? And if so, what is the plan for these retailers to be equipped to actually, perform the installation?
That's an amazing question. So, as I said, about 3/4 of guns are sold in a store, so that's our largest opportunity. So when someone goes into a store to buy that gun, or even just get a new safety, the first thing that the retailer offers is, what kind of safety do you want? And that's when Safe Zone would be sold. And then as for the installation, because they're retailers, they're actually required to be able to know how to take a gun apart, put it back together. They're always putting on suppressors, other things, modifications, so they know exactly how to install this themselves.
Adding on to what he said, we are actually making videos showcasing how to install Safe Zone onto different types of guns. We are going to work on that. So they will be able to see how to install it on, say, a standard gun they're working on, like a Glock.
And for the financial aspect, we will be selling retailers $85 per unit, and they can sell at $130 to their customers. That difference is their installation fee.
Didn't you also, I may have this mixed up, but didn't you say this was a prescription that they're buying? So I question that a little bit, because at some point this is going to cost more than the gun. Year over year, paying these subscriptions. It'd be interesting to see, in your due diligence, asking people different ways of getting to, some sort of similar process. My real question was, though, if you had to choose between direct to consumer and retailer, which is what you said you're going both, which one of those would you start first to find those early adopters that are going to get really excited for you?
Yeah, so we've already spoken to Saddle Rock Armory and Central Texas Gunworks, 2 local retailers in Austin, and have verbal commitments to start selling with them once we are developed. We are going to be targeting retailers, and this is done for a couple of reasons. Firstly, most gun sales are done at retail stores, so it's the largest opportunity for us. And because for retailers, our customer acquisition cost is much lower because we only need sales representatives. And for Central Texas Gunworks and Saddle Rock Armory, we were the sales representatives. So our customer acquisition cost was essentially just our time and transportation.
Good answer. Yep.
That was great. I love bipartisan solutions. Have you considered law enforcement as an audience that's low-hanging fruit?
So we have considered law enforcement for this, but they wouldn't see as much use in the fingerprint recognition. They'd see more use in, say, the geofencing and the location tracking, just because in case an officer is killed in the line of duty, they'd be able to remotely track where that gun is before the criminal would get away and use that gun. So they would have location tracking on that gun, so they can't steal that gun from an officer that fell in the line of duty.
Tagging on to this, because we offer the geofencing aspect, for law enforcement, such as our residential officers, they're going to need to be able to access their gun in schools, and that is a completely separate legal process. So as of right now, we will just be targeting people who are not in law enforcement, so we can completely flush out that legal process before that we start selling to them.
Thank you. Please give it up for Safe Zone. We will now like to introduce our last but not least judge, Mike Smirklow.
Mike Smirklo is an experienced entrepreneur, investor, and business leader driven by the desire to turn ideas into reality. Having bought and scaled a small business into a publicly traded company worth nearly $1 billion in value, he has a deep understanding of the hard work, dedication, and grit that truly powers successful entrepreneurship. Today, as a co-founder and managing director of Next Coast Ventures, he is a champion for a new generation of entrepreneurs building disruptive companies in big markets. His new book, Mr. Monkey and Me, is a real talk guide for entrepreneurs who want to cut through the noise to cultivate a mindset that supports greatness.
Please give it up for all 5 of our judges of spending their nights with here and volunteering everything.
Can you believe that we are already to our last pitch of the night? Please welcome Lollipoppy. Lollipoppy is a caffeinated, biodegradable lollipop with a flower seed at the end of every stick. Each lollipop has the equivalent amount of caffeine as a cup of coffee. Lollipoppy, please make your way to the stage.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Lucy Phoenix.
I'm Weston Blackbird.
I'm Mary Eliza Boone.
I'm Carlos Angeles.
I'm Lana Najjar, and we're Lollipoppy. Are you constantly falling asleep in the middle of the school or work day, but don't have time to get a cup of coffee or an energy drink? You're not alone. At least 58% of students on a national survey said that they feel tired and bored during the school day, and we created the perfect solution. Lollipoppy. In your hands are a fully biodegradable caffeinated lollipop. With an equivalent amount of caffeine to a cup of coffee, our affordable source of energy is the perfect opportunity to fuel your mind and body. Whether it's getting through a school day packed with tests or needing to stay awake for a long drive throughout the night, here at Lollipoppy, we strive to provide energy. Additionally, we all believe in protecting our planet. Lollipoppy is fully biodegradable, combating the immense amounts of plastic waste produced from just plastic cups alone. On the inside and at the bottom of our lollipop stick, there's a flower seed that fully blooms when the stick dissolves, leaving the seed exposed and ready to grow. With its efficient quality and its affordable price, Lollipoppy makes the intake of caffeine effortless.
92% of students consume caffeine on a daily basis. A huge problem for these students is the price of caffeine. Starbucks, for example, prices their coffee at roughly $6, and energy drinks are roughly $4. This adds up very quickly if you're consuming caffeine daily. An additional problem is the amount of plastic wasted on plastic cups. We are currently generating over 400 million tons of plastic waste, from small pieces to larger plastic cups. We are creating a sustainable, caffeinated lollipop that combats all of these problems.
Each of our lollipops contains 90 milligrams of caffeine, which is equivalent to the average cup of coffee. These energy boosts are great for when you're on the go and worried about spilling your coffee or energy drink. Additionally, priced at $2, Lollipoppy cuts down your coffee spinnings by 70%. Not only are our lollipops completely eco-friendly, but soon the bottom and inside of our stick will be equipped with an easy-to-grow flower seed that blooms when thrown out. Lollipoppy cuts down your coffee spinnings by 1/3, only containing 15 grams of sugar.
Standing in front of you are 5 high school students who struggle to maintain energy throughout the day. We created Lollipoppy through our personal experiences, and we hope to help others in similar situations.
Are you a student staying up late cramming for upcoming exams?
Maybe you're a lawyer working long hours in the office to conduct your legal research.
You might even be a truck driver on the interstate, noticing your eyes becoming heavy as the hours pass.
It doesn't end there. All of these people and so many more are constantly in the need of a quick boost of energy. Initially, we plan to market to ages 18 through 25. Unlike our competitors, Lollipoppy's concept includes the caffeinated aspect, fully biodegradable aspects, affordable aspects, and fruit-flavored aspects. Our most direct competitor, Umbrella Organics Lollipops, has the same seed concept as Lollipoppy, but lacks the caffeinated aspect and is extremely expensive.
Since the beginning of our sales in January, after producing the lollipops on our own, we've sold over 700 lollipops for a grand total of $1,300. As of now, we are only able to sell from business to consumer. However, with the help of a manufacturing facility, this will most certainly change. We will then be able to sell from business to business. Currently, we are protected under the Texas Cottage Food Law, which protects home-based food companies as long as revenue stays below $50,000 a year. However, once we exceed this, we will move into a commercial kitchen to continue manufacturing at a larger scale. Although FDA approval seems daunting, in reality, it is not a complex process. Since all of the ingredients in our lollipops, including the caffeine, are considered GRAS ingredients, or generally recognized as safe by the FDA, FDA approval is not far-fetched.
Through the process of selling our lollipops, we have noticed a demand, as we sell them every week and sell out every time. Our team offers 10 different flavors, the most popular being strawberry, watermelon, and cotton candy. We've gotten feedback about the flavors of our lollipop, and as a result, we have changed our recipe over 5 times. We strive to make a brand healthy for you and the environment, creating a lollipop with pure caffeine powder, a biodegradable wrapper, and no unnecessary additives.
We have narrowed our target audience down from the amount of people in America to the amount of students in America to the amount of students who consume caffeine on a daily basis. From there, we estimate we can reach about 4% of these students. Assuming each of these people purchases 2 lollipops every week, we will be selling 83 million lollipops a year, which will increase our gross revenue to $166 million. We have already reached roughly 30% of our entire school through directly advertising and communicating our product in person. Additionally, we have reached more customers through our growing Instagram account that is constantly active and updating its followers on our new batches and flavors. In the future, we plan on fully developing our website to add another channel, as well as connecting with influencers using social media marketing, email marketing, and search engine marketing.
As for our first 3 years of operation, we plan on seeing significant growth in both our profit and revenue, while also cutting down on our cost of goods sold and our selling, general, and administrative costs. We will be having 2 main sources of revenue, with one being selling directly to consumers, for example, through our own website or other websites like Amazon, and the other being direct wholesale. Now, we plan on continuing to sell directly to consumers for the next 5 months of operation, and by month 6, we plan to acquire a manufacturing facility to start mass producing our lollipops. After this, we'd like to first initially test our product in convenience stores like Buc-ee's or 7-Eleven, and then once we see enough growth, we'd like to move on to bigger retail stores and grocery stores. Now, while we see fluctuation in our revenue, we also see some change in our cost of goods sold and our overhead costs. Our overhead costs will include things like our legal work, our patent for our product, permit, insurance for our company, and our website. Our cost of goods sold include things such as manufacturing, shipping, packaging, and the ingredients of our product. Currently, it costs us 33 cents to produce a single lollipop, but we estimate that after we start mass producing our lollipops, we can cut this cost down to 19 cents for the remainder of this year and 17 cents for years 2 and 3.
We sell most of our lollipops here at school. On April 23rd, we sold over 100 lollipops at the Lone Star Farmers Market. Recently, we were accepted as finalists into the Texas High School Ideas Challenge, where we pitched May 2nd at A&M. We met with the CEO of a caffeinated gum company where we learned more about the food science and production process. Additionally, in order to secure our business, we have filed for an LLC. We are currently in the process of developing a technology to insert a seed into our stick, but until then, we will continue to sell here at school and on our website, which we are currently developing. We have put so much time and energy into making these lollipops and are extremely passionate about continuing our project to make energy more sustainable.
As of now, we are unable to produce our lollipops at the same rate they are demanded. As Mary Eliza said, every single week we sell out. Initially, to complete the full design of our lollipops, our first steps will be the research and development of a flower blooming stick. We'll use this money to get expert help on the logistical aspect of this process. Next, to elevate Lollipoppy, a manufacturing facility is necessary. This will most certainly increase our gross revenue. We are asking for $70,000 for the research, development, and manufacturing of our lollipops. We are so thrilled and excited to begin this process and share our lollipops with the world. And with your help and our dedication, we cannot wait to fulfill everybody's lollipoppy dream.
Go grow!
what a great product, and it's super. I can just imagine how big the market is. One question I had for you to talk a little bit when you think about the cost. Did you look into what labeling requirements you would have to do with caffeine? Is there anything special you'd have to do over time?
Yes, so as of right now, under the Texas Cottage Food Law, all we need to have on our actual product is a little statement that just says that these are made in a home kitchen and not a commercial kitchen. But as for the caffeine, there's no additional label that would have to be added except for the normal ingredients.
So forgive me if I missed it. Is there a sugar-free option? I don't know how much sugar's in these things.
So our lollipops have 15 grams of sugar. They actually cut down your sugar intake of a normal cup of coffee by 1/3. So it's a much healthier alternative to a cup of coffee. Obviously, they're not the healthiest option out there, but yes, it's a very healthy alternative.
That's a great answer.
So you said $50,000 and you can get away underneath the radar of having a commercial kitchen. How many lollipops does that represent?
A good amount. We've sold all over 700 right now, so around 25,000 lollipops would get us to that $50,000 point.
Awesome. And what would this represent in terms of caffeine? Because like I have sworn off caffeine in the last month. What would this represent in terms of a coffee cup?
So, you are.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's actually 90 milligrams, which is about the same amount as a cup of coffee.
So it'd be like 1 cup of coffee.
Yes.
So you would not have to warn someone that if you had 7 or 8 of these, which I would typically do, that you would end up with 7 cups of coffee. I'm back to the labeling thing, because it's another thing that I noticed at the very beginning also is, you're just not quite there yet with going, with a commercial kitchen, and I understand that. But I think that a little bit of the labeling issue should be that you have to take seriously the fact that it is, it's caffeine. But I love this idea. I think by the way, great teamwork. You can tell you had a lot of fun with this. You're excited about it, and I think it comes across to the audience as well.
Thank you.
How much did you say they sell for?
$2 each.
Love the branding colors. So fresh.
Thank you.
And I think like Jan said, I want more of these lollipops. But I wanted to ask you, do you have any other products that you're thinking of developing alongside the lollipop?
Yes, so currently we just have the one, but in the future we were thinking of making bigger lollipops with more caffeine or adding vitamins to our lollipop in different variations.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give it up for Lollipop.
You thank them. Thank you, Lollipoppy. We are so proud of all the teams that were out here pitching tonight, and now we're going to give the judges some time to deliberate. And I do not envy that decision. Thank you, judges.
As we mentioned before, you, the audience, have a big decision to make as well. We'll now begin voting in the Westlake Business Incubator People's Choice Award. The team that has the most votes at the end of a couple minutes will receive a grant of $2,000 and secure a spot in next year's accelerator class.
To review who you are voting for, let's review the teams. Notify, please stand. Safety Smoke, please stand. Connection, please stand. Safe Zone, please stand. And Lollipoppy, please stand. They're backstage. The directions to vote are up on the screen, and we'll give you a few minutes to put in your vote.
Now we are fortunate enough to hear from last year's pitch night winners, Pharmacist.
Hello, my name is Megan Sweat, and I am CEO of Pharmacist. Next year, I will be attending the University of Michigan to study business.
Hello, I'm Mason Maru. I'm COO of Pharmacist, and I will be studying business at the University of Colorado.
Hi, I'm Andrew Depew, CRO, and I will be attending Baylor University as a Hankemer Scholar studying business.
Hi, my name is Aman Rumi. I'm the CMO of Pharmacist, and I'm going to be studying business at TCU.
Hi, my name is Zach Edens. I'm the CTO here at Pharmacist, and I'm also going to TCU for business.
Hello, I'm Parker Steen. I'm CFO, and I'll be studying business at Texas A&M, and we are Pharmacist. We are a medication management app focused on increasing medicinal adherence and preventing deadly drug interactions.
Since Pitch Night last year, we have had so many amazing opportunities and have been working hard in the Accelerator class to continue our business. First, we wanted to talk about nationals last year. We were selected as one of 5 teams to go to the national pitch in Chicago, where we were selected as one of the teams to win and receive additional funding.
Following nationals, we've had several other pitch opportunities, one of which was at Capital Factory, where we pitched alongside several other Texas Incubator teams. There, we gained valuable insight and connections.
We also had the chance to meet with the biggest medical venture capital firm in Austin, Sante, where we pitched our idea to them, and they gave us great feedback to improve our business plan as well as our pitch.
We've been honored to be named Young Entrepreneurs of the Year by the Westlake Chamber of Commerce at their annual West East Luncheon last February. At this luncheon, we were awarded additional funding and were also properly introduced to the Westlake business community.
We've made great progress in connecting with over 100 doctors and have already partnered with many local clinics. If you know any medical professionals who would be willing to refer our app to their patients, please contact us at pharmacistatx@gmail.com.
As you know, Pharmacist is working hard to develop our app, and we're proud tonight to release it. So if you could pull out your phones and please scan the QR code and download it today. And don't worry, if you don't have an iPhone, Android will be coming out very soon. So on your preferred app store, search up Pharmacist space ATX and download today. Additionally, we understand that our app is in its first stages of development, so not all features are going to be there, like the interaction checker, but rest assured we're going to be updating and making our app better every single day. And even if you don't download it, give it a try. Your feedback is extremely important to us. So go on the settings page and take a quick survey. Your feedback will help us make our app better and also promote Pharmacists for the future. So download today.
We wanted to give a quick thank you to the Westlake Business Incubator program and both of our teachers. This class has truly changed the trajectory of our lives and has opened up so many incredible opportunities and experiences that we truly could have never had without this program.
We're so thankful for everybody who's been a part of our process, and we can't wait to see what our future beholds. And remember, download Pharmacist today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a very successful year, Pharmacist, and cheers to the next one. Right now, we will be doing awards. Throughout the year, each of the 32 teams in the Incubator program have been assigned one mentor. This mentor comes in 2 to 4 times a month and helps with the ideation process. This year's Mentor of the Year goes to, drumroll please, Ariel Jakubowicz. He was a mentor for Duraflight. Please come to the stage for your award.
Okay, they have it. Thank you. Now, we like to take the time to honor a Coach of the Year as well. As we touched on earlier, there are so many people within this community that come and help the Business Incubator program, and it truly could not be the same without it. So this year's Coach of the Year is Jason Howard. Please come to the stage.
Give another round for Jason and Ariel. This program cannot continue without people like you.
In 2021, we lost Jackson Coker, a member of our Westlake family and the Westlake Incubator program. Jackson had a tremendous impact not only on Lindsay and I, but everyone he came in contact with. The Westlake Innovation Fund has created a scholarship in his honor to recognize students that have participated in the Incubator program that represent the incredible characteristics that made him who he was. Characteristics like curiosity, kindness, compassion, respect, and boldness. We're so proud to be able to share with you the recipients of this year's Jackson Coker Incubator Scholarship.
So first, we would like to recognize some students that have already been acknowledged at their school in Elgin ISD a few weeks ago. They have joined us this evening, and I would like for you to stand up when I say your name. Joined by their teacher, Miss Norton, we would like to recognize Melanie Velasquez Hernandez and DeAnthony Moore. Congratulations. Now for our recipients from Westlake High School, some very deserving seniors. Our first recipient, Andrew Depew.
Georgia Hicks.
And Nick Masad. Let's give these seniors another round of applause.
Who's doing this part? What, Lindsay? Are we going to do this? We just wanted to reach out one more time. If you're interested in being a part of the Westlake Incubator program, you have many opportunities to volunteer as a coach, as a mentor. We're always looking for donations, for funds to help support the program and support the prize money for pitch night. So you can contact us at our emails. You can go to our website. Lots of different ways to get involved. So we hope that we can all work with you in the future with the Incubator program.
Before we get to our first official award of the evening, we're going to check in and see where the judges are at. Teams, if you don't have appropriate shoes on, now's the time to put some on. Okay, we know it was a quick turnaround. But the first award that we're going to recognize this evening, it's going to be handed out by our fearless leader, Steve Ramsey. We're going to welcome him to the stage. People's Choice receives $2,000 this evening, and this is any of the 5 teams that y'all saw this evening here on stage. And by your vote this evening, the winner of $2,000 is Notify. Parents, feel free to get out your cameras and come snap some photos. We're wrapping things up, I promise. We're almost there. All right. I think we have a decision. I'm waiting on my counterpart. You could say I'm a little codependent. Yes. Let's welcome out the judges. Okay. And all of our finalist teams, if you can make your way to the stage and line up. Come, just line up. Everybody. So every. Are there 6 teams or 5? That's what I thought. I just put this in my hand, but if you want to say something. Is this on? Yeah, I'll say something briefly. This was tough. This was very tough. And what's interesting is that every one of the judges actually hears a lot of these. And we see these a lot. And we were all talking about how this is very mature. This group was mature. Not a single one of the 5 of the team we felt was lagging behind. We're just super impressed. But we had to make a decision. So we ended up making a decision. Just remember that is the case, that we were struggling back there a lot. But we're really proud of your performance and hope that kind of just is the first of many for you. I don't think I'm supposed to announce who it is, am I? No. Good.
You don't want to do that?
No, it's yours.
Does anyone else want to say anything? All right, it's that time. Is everyone ready to hear who the winners are? We'll start with our second place team. Second place team of Pitch Night 2023 is going to Safe Zone. And now for our winners of Pitch Night, getting funding of $15,000, Notify. Let's keep giving an applause for all these incredible teams. They've worked very hard all year. Thank you so much for joining us at Pitch Night. Have a good evening.